Hello and thanks for joining us again on the SEABL preview show. Well, today we're out at Sandringham and I've been joined by one of the Sabres, Tegan Cunningham. Tegan, thanks for joining us.
No problem, thanks for having me.
Tegan, the season's going along pretty well. You guys have almost sewed up a playoff spot, which is great for your team.
Yeah, obviously with last year, I think they won one game. Yeah, so it's an improvement, that's for sure. We're playing really well. We've had obviously a few injuries with me and then Mickey gone away for the trials and stuff. So we've had a little interference, which isn't the best for teams, but we've got 4 games that I think we need to win at least one to definitely qualify. So it'll be a tough ask, but we've got some tough competition ahead of us, but I think we can do it. I think we've got a good group of girls and I think we should manage a win somewhere in there.
Well, plenty to talk on, a lot of topics that you touched on there. We'll talk on it in a bit more detail. First of all, though, we'll get through some news, starting with the results. And Brisbane, they snuck one over the top of you up there last week.
Yeah, they got off to a great start, and I think we find ourselves, we struggle if teams get off to a good start. We normally can't catch up to them. They always get the back end of the foot really and keep on pushing it. So, they had 3 bigs that they'd put on, and obviously our size-wise, we don't really match them very well. So, it was a big ask for us, and we thought we had it, but I think, and also we just came out really flat. I don't know if the whole travelling trip or whatever, but we weren't as good. And Mickey's only been back 2 weeks as well, so we're still getting used to her again. Of course. And, a lot of things you can always come up with a million things to why we didn't win, but it's just one of those tough road trips, and we'll go home in, I think, 2 weeks, so hopefully we can get them that time.
Yeah, I think, as you said, you've got the return fixture against them in a few weeks, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Player of the week, though, was Myra Donkin from Hobart with 2 big games. But you might notice we're also wearing yellow because the upcoming round is the call to arms round. And yellow is the colour for the call to arms round. It's normally, I guess it's aimed at men, but hopefully the women can get involved as well, Tegan.
Yeah, it's a great cause. It's good for everyone to get behind it. Obviously, it's my first experience with it. Yep. Like I said, I feel a bit like Lance Armstrong in this, but it's a good cause, so it's good for everyone to get behind it. Yeah,
obviously the players will be wearing yellow armbands, but if you're coming down to watch a SEABL game, feel free to chuck on some yellow and show your support for the players as well. Mate, we'll move along and look at some of the statistical leaders. Starting there with the points leaders. No Sandringham players in there, but Michaela's just out of the top 5 in number 7. Can you tell us, did you get a sense of disappointment from her after they came back from the Olympic trials? Yeah,
obviously it'd be tough, obviously everyone's playing to, for Olympic championship or Olympic, to get into the Olympics, so I should say. So for her to, be a big leader in that team as well. She hasn't really spoken too much about it, but we all guess how she feels. It's not something that's been hidden. She worked really, really hard to get up to that point, and like I said to her, these things happen, and there's always 4 more years. And she's got a great head on her shoulders. Her next folks now will be WBL with Townsville, and she's a huge part of that team. So hopefully she can bounce back and lead us Sabres to a finals. And you never know what's going to happen.
Tegan, tell us a bit about your role in this team. Obviously we know that you can score and you're athletic, you're all those kinds of things, but tell us more about the intangibles, being a leader, that kind of thing. Is that a new role to you this year, something you've had to bring more into your game?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, I came from Dandenong where I was 6th man, and we have Kathleen and Jenna's that obviously I look up to a lot, and Steph's, and can name them all off the list. So for me, coming in this team, like a lot of girls do look up to me, and I think I sometimes forget that I just go play my game. I'm like, hang on, I am a WBL player. I do have those credits to my name, to where I sort of got to catch myself helping them out as well, like giving them advice that they need. Some of these girls would, be lucky to play. They're grateful to have the opportunity to play with someone. So I've got to use that time to help them as well, because I'm probably going to be here for the next couple of years, so I want them to stay in the program, so I'm just going to do a better job at really helping them out and being a bit of a leader, and probably lack that a bit, like I said, coming from WBL where I wasn't that big leader to now that I do need to step up. And that's why it's good to have like a Mickey and a Kate and a Beck, because we all sort of come from the same boat to where we can all help each other out.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think there's plenty of upside for your team if you can keep the core sort of group together, but you mentioned there the Dandenong experience, and that's a good segue into this week's preview, which is your game obviously against Dandenong. Now, you played them, I think, back in round 9 or round 6, but you were out on that occasion with a broken finger. You know, what Dandenong though, they're a defending champions, very strong team. You're probably familiar with a lot of the players having played with them at WNBL. What do you see their strengths as being, Tegan?
Well, their strengths, obviously, they've played a lot of years together, that core group. Without having Steph, you know, they are a different team. You know, Steph definitely brings a huge spark to them, and last time we played them, I obviously didn't play. And like I said, they're just a real well-drilled team. They've been together for quite some time. You know, pretty much all the WNBL players are down there now. So, you know, they execute really well. They do play 40 minutes of quality basketball, and you know, you think you have a lead, and you think you've got it, but they're the team that can come back at any chance. Larissa's a great coach. You know, they drill. Like I said, they run their plays to the team. So it's just a matter of, you know, we've got to come out firing. If we come out flat at all, the game could be over within 10 minutes. So,
Dandenong, do you get any advantages knowing the players so well? Like, has Alex Palazzolo come up to you this week and said, Tegan, what can you tell us about Claire Papabs or about Hope Turdick or anything like that? Have you been able to get any special insights?
Well, Alex knows them as well. Like, he's obviously been around Dandenong quite some time. So I think we both know, and I think a lot of the, like Mickey and Kate and all that will know as well, just from WNBL. You know, they played the way they've played, and they've probably played like that for a while. But in saying that, yeah, you know, obviously I know a bit more. I practice with them pretty much every day of WNBL. So, you know, there's a few things that I'm sure that like I could probably tell you about them, but
you can't tell us.
I can't until I get away with them. Until we win, then I can say all the secrets. But in case it doesn't work, I better not say anything.
Sure. Mate, we'll push on and look at your run home now. Now, as we touched on at the start, you know, 4 games. If you get 1 or 2 of those, you're probably going to, you know, shore up your spot. You also mentioned earlier that you weren't at the program last year. They only won 1 game. The players that were here, I mean, last year, do they talk about it much at all? Do you see them, you know, being motivated, or is it really just a clean slate?
Yeah, I think they try to forget it. I mean, I know last year obviously wasn't the best year for them, but we've already tried to, you know, push that aside and get on with the job. You know, winning 2 games was obviously an old dream for some of those girls, because, you know, Mickey last year, even though she's probably struggled winning only a game. So for us to get at least the 2 wins off the bat, I think everything else was sort of, after that second win, was a clean slate almost for the girls. And you know, it's been hard. Like, Mickey obviously had a bit of a tough year, but, you know, so if we can get to finals this year, I think it'll put a big stamp on who we are now. And like I say, if we keep that core group together next year, you know, it could be championship coming our way.
Mate, only a couple of things to get through. We'll look at the conferences now, starting off with the East Conference there. But while we do that, can you tell us how your WNBL preparations are coming along? Have you started pre-season? At what stage is it?
It's a little hard now, obviously, with Kath and Jenna and Krista now with the Olympics, and then Steph's also away. So for now, I think we're just all doing our own thing, you know, squeezing in a few individuals with Mark every now and then and so forth. But I think it's just a bit SEABL. Until they get back, I think it will really start. Obviously, the WNBL schedule did come out today, and like we were talking about, our first game against Bulleen, no slacking there. So we have a lot of work cut out for us. You know, obviously we do have a core group, but in saying that, a lot of things change. So we've really got to knuckle down, and I think it'll probably start, I'm guessing, late August, early September. Okay. We'll get fully into it. Well,
finally, we'll take a look at this week's upcoming fixture. A couple of good games there. Obviously, Bendigo Knox is a good one. Also, the Kilsyth Geelong game should also be a good one. But Tegan, tell us a bit about, you know, we've discussed this before, but, you know, similarities and differences between SEABL and WNBL.
Obviously, the interstate travelling is quite similar to WNBL.
Sure.
Some of the trips on SEABL are a lot harder, I think, than WNBL.
Right.
I mean, we had a few double headers that have been really, really tough. So, and they're just so constant. Like, every week we find ourselves having another double header in the corner. It's sort of, but again, he's saying that, you know, all of us should be, most of us WNBL players should be used to it by now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, it gives you a chance to play against players that, you know, maybe in WNBL 10 they're just on the bench somewhere, but they get a chance to shine, and
they're getting big minutes. Yeah,
exactly, and it's a good opportunity for everyone. And you know, some people are playing awesome in SEABL, which is a really good stepping stone for WNBL for their the confidence and so forth. And it's just good to keep playing while you're in the off season. You know, so it's a good league. I do enjoy it. So it's good. It'll be good to come back next year.
Well, we hope you do, mate, because it's been fantastic watching you run around this year. You've really brought something to Sandringham, which I think is fair to say they missed last year. But good luck with the rest of the season, mate.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed being on today's show. It was great to have you here.
I did. It was good. Thank you for having me.
Well, maybe we'll get you back again at some point.
Definitely.
And I hope the yellow wasn't too bad, mate.
I'm going to ride my bike out of here now.
Anyway, that pretty much does it for this week. Remember, you can always get the latest headlines by following us on Facebook or on Twitter. But until next week, it's bye for now.